Most people believe that the money in their bank account is a representation of wealth. They think it's backed by something tangible, gold, silver, or at least a stable promise. But what if I told you that the paper in your wallet isn't actually money? It's a note, a piece of debt. And on a single Sunday evening in 1971, the definition of value was rewritten in a way that effectively placed an invisible expiration date on your savings. This is the story of the Nixon Shock. It's the day the world moved from a system of value to a system of decree. And if you don't understand how it works, you're playing a game where the rules are designed for you to lose.
Before 1971, the world operated on the gold standard. Think of it like a coat check at a theater. You give them your coat, and they give you a receipt. The receipt isn't the coat, but it's a guarantee that you can get it back whenever you want. Under the Bretton Woods system, the US dollar was that receipt. It was pegged to gold at $35 per ounce. If you were a foreign government and you had US dollars, you could technically walk up to the gold window and swap them for physical bars of gold. It was a system of restraint. The government couldn't just print more receipts than they had coats in the closet. This kept the value of your savings stable because the supply of money was tied to the supply of gold.
But by the late 1960s, the closet was getting empty. Between the costs of the Vietnam War and massive social spending, the US was printing more dollars than it had gold to back them. Other countries, like France, caught on. They started sending ships full of dollars back to the US, demanding their gold in return. It was a global run on the bank. If Nixon didn't act, the US would literally run out of gold. On August 15, 1971, Nixon went on national television and announced he was temporarily suspending the convertibility of the dollar into gold. That temporary measure has now lasted over 50 years. This turned the US dollar into fiat currency. Fiat is Latin for by decree. The dollar has value not because it's backed by gold, but because the government says it has value, and you need it to pay your taxes. The restraint was gone. The government could now print as much money as it needed.
So what does this mean for your bank account? It means inflation is no longer a bug, it's a feature of the system. Imagine the economy is a pizza. In 1970, that pizza was cut into 100 slices. If you owned one slice, you had 1% of the pizza. But when the government prints more money, it's like they keep cutting that same pizza into more and more slices. Now there are 1,000 slices. You still have your one slice, your dollar, but it's now 10 times smaller. Since 1971, the purchasing power of the dollar has dropped by over 85%. This is the invisible tax. You didn't lose any dollars in your account, but those dollars can buy significantly less pizza than they used to.
The 1971 Nixon Shock changed the fundamental rule of finance. In a fiat system, savers are losers. If you keep your wealth in a currency that can be printed at will, your hard work is slowly being devalued to pay for the system's debts. This is why the wealthy don't just save money. They buy assets. They buy real estate, stocks, and even digital gold like Bitcoin, things that the government cannot print. If you want to understand how to protect your slices of the pizza in this new system, subscribe to the fiscal system. We're deconstructing the mechanics of wealth, one video at a time. But if the dollar isn't backed by gold anymore, what's actually keeping it from collapsing? In our next video, we'll dive into the petrodollar and the secret deal that saved the US economy. So turn the bell notification on so you don't miss our next videos. And until next time, thanks for watching.